Ramayana Kalpavrksam.
Sari mama dadani gaba baza sari mama gari ri dadani ni daba bama gari ragu vamsha sudam bodhi chandra Sri Rama Raksha Rajeshwara Raghu vamsha sudam bodhi chandra Sri Rama Raksha Rajeshwara Raghu vamsha Sudam Bodhi Chandra Sri
Raghuvamsha Sudam Buddhi Chandra, the ocean of nectar, that is Rama's name, that is Rama's Katha, Rama Katha Sudha, Tyagaraja Swami said. In this Katha, we find so many beautiful aspects. But what is amazing is what we take out of that Katha and into our own lives. And today, the idea of Sri Rama Raksha is to look at what is this protection that is associated with Rama. As you all know, Sri Rama Raksha, Sarva Jagat Raksha is a small practice that we do in different parts of Bharatavarsham, where we acknowledge that if Rama's Raksha is there, everything else falls into place. How does that Rama Raksha look? How have people experienced that Raksha of him? So today, we explore some aspects of what it means to be protected by Rama, but not just from the angle of Rama appearing as Kodandahasta, but from the angle of what should we do so that he actually wants to come and protect us. When we look at this, the first place that we have to understand this is from the story itself. Because in the story, we know many moments when he came as Bhakta Anugraha Vigraha, when he came to bless some devotees, be it Shabari, be it Guha. All of these are well-known incidents when he came and blessed them. But Raksha is not only about appearing, as I said, and just that moment. It is about watching what does that Jiva need. And we see some very lesser-known ideas in the Katha. When we normally read the Katha, we skip past these. But if we pause, some beautiful Ratnas are waiting to be discovered here. Take the example of Dasharatha. Tell me, from the angle, keep aside Rama, keep aside Paramatma, keep aside all these aspects. For a father who is yearning to be with his son, that son is not there when his father breathes his last. Is it Nyayam or is it Anyayam? You can answer fairly, it's not a trick question. It looks like it's Anyayam, no? That he only wanted to be with Rama, but in that Chivari Kshanam, Rama was not there by his side. What is the Rahasyam here? We look at allied Puranas to build this concept. Rama was not there at the time Dasharatha died because if Rama was there as the Jeshta Putra, Rama would have to do the Daha Samskara for Dasharatha. If Rama did the Daha Samskara for anybody, there is no Punarjanmam for them. But Dasharatha has to come back in a Punarjanmam as Nanda. So for Dasharatha to come back in the next life, Rama creates an entire scenario to say, you want to be with me when I'm growing up. Because this is Dasharatha's greatest desire. I want to be with my boy, I want to be with my boy. When Vishwamitra takes him away, he's so unhappy. Rama registers that and said, Ippudu kadra, I'll come, I'll give you an entire Janma. That time you'll see all of my Leelas. And this bhavam, that he protects you not just now, but beyond this. That, for that bhavam, what kind of tapas must you do? That is what Tyagaraja Swami said. Dasharathudu tapamemi cheseno. What tapas did he do that he could call you saying, Rara, Rama?
Dasharathudu Sri Rama దశరథుడు శ్రీరామ దశరథుడు శ్రీరామ రారాయను చూపిల్వ దశరథుడు శ్రీరామ రారాయను చూపిల్వ తపమేమి చేసెను దశరథుడు తపమేమి చేసెను దశరథుడు తపమేమి చేసెను తెలియ
Look at Vishwamitra Muni. What a joy, what a bhagyam he had of taking Rama out of Ayodhya and making Rama and Lakshmana follow him. But in that moment, Vishwamitra is so conflicted because Rama and Lakshmana are walking behind him. He knows that Adi Narayana, who is leading the path for Sarva Prana Koti, is now walking behind him. And not only does he have the bhagyam of turning around and seeing him, he also has to keep himself very composed because everybody else should not know it's Narayana. But Vishwamitra had an exquisite fortune. Vishwamitra had the bhagyam of waking him up, and he's so fond of what Vishwamitra said that day, that every day that Tirumala Narayana, that Rama, Venkatarama hears the same thing, Kausalya Supraja Rama Purva Sandhya Pravartate. What tapas did that Kaushika Muni do to be so close to you, Rama?
తనవెంట చనజూచి తనవెంట చనజూచి తనవెంట చనజూచి ఉప్పొంగ కౌశికుడు తనవెంట చనజూచి ఉప్పొంగ కౌశికుడు తపమేమి చేసెను కౌశికుడు తపమేమి చేసెను తెలియ
Janaka, Videha Raja. Videha is such a beautiful word. Videha means without a body. It does not mean he is a bhuta or a preta. It means that that line of kings in Mithila Nagaram, they ruled without a sense of attachment to the body. And for people who are in such a state of Brahmajnanam, of Atmajnanam, to such a Janaka, Rama had the bhagyam, and Rama enabled the bhagyam of becoming his son-in-law. All of us say Varaswaru, Sri Mahavishnu Swarupaya Varaya at the time of a wedding, that this Vara is Mahavishnu himself. But truly in the case of Janaka, it was Mahavishnu himself. To experience that, what tapas did he do?
తనదనయనో సగి కనులార కన జనకుండు తనదనయనో సగి కనులార కన జనకుండు తపమేమి చేసెను జనకుండు తపమేమి చేసెను తెలియ శ్రీరామ జయ రామ శ్రీరామ జయ రామ శ్రీరామ జయ రామ శ్రీరామ ఆయని తపమేమి చేసెనో తెలియ
Telugulo, typically we say Ramudu Manchi Baludu, and then we ascribe all of the naughty characteristics to Krishna. But actually, Katha chuste complete ulta. Krishna is from day one, he says, Nen cheyadalchukundedo, I'll do it. Whatever I feel like, I'll do. Ramudemo, he's the best actor because you never know what he's up to. Because how he's listening to what every word, every devotee is saying about him, he's always paying attention. And that is Rama Katha Mahima. Because in the Katha, there are so many moments when people are about to give up. And Rama is nowhere physically present in those moments. Take the moment when Sugriva has dispatched 4 troops to 4 parts of Bharatavarsha, east, west, south, north, the troop that has come south has crossed the deadline that Sugriva gave. It was 1 month that they were supposed to. They've crossed the deadline. There is no sign of Sita. They're all sitting around. All of the Vanaras, Angada, Neela, Nala, all of them are sitting around wondering, how can we go back now? If we go back now, kalas. And then one of them says, Idantha endukendo telsa? Kaikei valla. And then one says, Kaikei kadu. Kaikei said what she wanted to. What was her husband doing? Dasharatha was the one who should have said, don't go to the forest, Rama. Because if Rama did not go to the forest, Sita would not have been abducted. If Sita did not get abducted, Sugriva would not have given us this work. If Sugriva did not give us this work, our lives would not be in danger. But all this happened because of Dasharatha. Somebody else said, no, not Dasharatha. Because of Guha. Why did Guha agree to bring him to this side? He could have kept him there only, no? And they go through the entire story like this and say, actually it's the Shurpanaka's fault. She only like a vamp, she went and did all this nonsense. Knowingly or unknowingly, they go on and on with the story until one person says, but actually it was Jatayu's fault because Jatayu could not save Sita. The moment they said this, something extraordinary happens. The Vanaras are sitting on the ground on some rocks and they say this. Next to them, there is a tree, an ancient tree. And on that ancient tree, there is an old bird that suddenly turns. And that old bird has no wings. That old bird screeches. It's a vulture. And this vulture says, who said Jatayu's name? Jatayu is my brother. What happened to Jatayu? So the Vanaras say, oh, Jatayu apparently tried to save Sita when she was being kidnapped by Ravana. But we don't know. Jatayu died and we don't know where Ravana took Sita. Sampati immediately says that Jatayu is my brother and Ravana took Sita, is it? I didn't know that that was Sita, but I can tell you where and how you can find that Ravana, and he gives them the directions to Lanka. All this happened why? Because knowingly or unknowingly they said Ramakatha from the time of Kaikai till now. Sitting there somewhere in Kishkinda Parvatam, he was watching. The monkeys are losing hope. The Vanaras are losing hope. Don't lose hope, I'm there. And then they reach there, and then we all know what happens. Who is the Mahabala Parakramaha, who absolutely takes on Rama Namam and reaches to the other side. If you look at this Kandam, I'm very, very hesitant to talk about this Kandam because if it sits, it will become Sundarakanda Pravachanam. But when he enters, from the time he enters till the time he exits, Hanuman experiences so many emotions. He's constantly conflicted. He's wondering, will I find her? Will I not find her? Hanuman thinks, I have not found her over here. If I go back like this, Rama will be disappointed. If Rama is disappointed, he'll kill himself. If he kills himself, Lakshmana will kill himself. If Lakshmana kills himself, Bharata will go, Shatrughna will go, then Kaikai will go, Sumitra. He has all of these. Then he says, no, let me think of Rama. He thinks of Rama and suddenly he sees, oh, I've missed one spot. What is this? And he finds Ashokavana. Anjaneya is protected by Rama Nama, Rama Raksha. Meanwhile, when he reaches Ashokavanam, what is happening? In that same moment, there is Janaki Mahalakshmi. That same day, she chose to say, I've had enough. I cannot live anymore. And she's about to commit suicide. And in that moment, Anjaneya Swami jumps and says, Amma, don't go. Wait. He's going to come very, very soon. 2 bhaktas, Anjaneya Swami and Sita, both protected by him who is sitting so far away because he is watching. He knows, no, Sita is going to go. I'm going to send my Duta. And he tells his Duta, don't worry at all. Kapivara santata samsmrutaram tatkati vigna dhvamsakaram. Sitting somewhere in Kishkindha, he is removing every vigna for Kapivara or Anjaneya Swami. And for Sita, Sita prana dharakaram.
Kapivara santata samsmritaram, Kapivara santata samsmritaram, tadgati vigna dhvamsakaram, Kapivara santata samsmritaram, तद्गति विघ्नध्वंसकरां सीता प्राणाधारकरां दुष्टदशानन दूषितरां शिष्ट हनुमद्भूषितरां सीता वेदितकाकावनरां कृतचूडामणि दर्शनरां कपिवरवचनाश्वासितरां राम राम जय राजा राम 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 जय सीताराम राम राम जय राजा राम 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 जय सीताराम राम राम जय सीताराम राम राम जय सीताराम.
If you pay attention to this portion of the Nama Ramayanam, it's such a difficult portion to write because Rama is not making an appearance everywhere, but still his name is coming everywhere. That is the idea of Rama Bhakti. That he may not be, you may not feel his physical presence, but if you carry him with you, he will hold on to you and he will take care of you wherever you are. That is what we mean when we say Sarva Jagat Raksha. No Jagatlo ekkadunna sare, he will be by your side. And that idea we see as a reflection that take Rama Katha, sit with that same Katha. How is it that that Katha which you can tell a 3-year-old is valid as a Moksha Grantham? Because that Katha has so many rahasyams. That Katha has divine protection inside it. And if you say that Katha, if you remember that Katha, if you don't know what to do Rama Katha. Even if you do it with a bad mood, like the poor Vanaras, even then that Katha will protect you. That is what it says. And this rahasyam, one certain Muni picked up. This Muni, known as Buddha Kaushika Muni, has so much of literature to his credit, but one special composition where he showcases, oh, it is Rama Katha, and if I take Rama Katha and I put it into one stotram, knowingly or unknowingly, people will keep reading this Rama Katha. What is that stotram? Rama Raksha stotram. And if you pay attention to the Rama Raksha stotram, as many of you know, when you read Raksha Kavachams, from head to toe, you ask for protection for different parts of the body. Here in the Rama Raksha stotram, you see something phenomenal. You will see that the entire Ramayana, major segments of the Ramayana are present in the Rama Raksha stotram. Are you willing to listen to me and explore that for yourself? How many of you chant the Rama Raksha stotram? Just a curious question. So for those of you who do, you will be able to appreciate this more. And for those of you who are yet to, my invitation is, we will together chant this today. Is that okay with you? So let's first look at where is the Katha. For the Katha to begin, Narayana has to incarnate. For Narayana to incarnate, he chooses a Vamsham. That Vamsham is Raghuvamsham. So, Shirome Raghavav Patu. He comes as Raghuvamsham, he incarnates there. When he has to take form over there, he comes as the son of Dasharatha. Bhalam Dasharathatmajaha. Dasharatha alone. Kausalya, 50% stakeholder in this matter. Kausalyayo Drishau Patu. Then this little boy, this son of Dasharatha and Kausalya is growing there in Ayodhya. Then who comes and takes him saying, I need him there to protect my yajnam? Vishwamitra Priyashrutihi. Vishwamitra Priyaha. The one who is so dear to Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra takes him and says, I want you to come and do Yajna Rakshana. Makhatrata. The Makha is another word for Yajnam. He goes and he protects Vishwamitra's Yajnam. Does he go alone? Somebody goes with him. And that somebody, it is so beautiful in the Ramayana, Vishwamitra asked for Rama to come. He did not ask for Lakshmana to come. Dasharatha didn't want to send Rama. But when Lakshmana Swami went along with Rama, nobody said anything. Nobody asked him to come, but nobody protested with him. And both these boys, when they went together with Vishwamitra, Rama looked at Lakshmana with so much love and he said, Mukham Saumitri Vatsalaha. He looked at the son of Sumitra and he said, Abba, this boy came of his own accord with me. Mukham Saumitri Vatsalaha. Both of these boys, Sumitra Nandana and Kausalya Nandana, are with Vishwamitra. And then what happens? They learn all of the Vidyas. They become repositories of all that knowledge from Vishwamitra. So Vidyanidhihi is the next name that comes in the Kavacham. After this, we see that once they are learning all of these, Rama is equally fond of all his brothers. So as a pratika, to ensure that we don't say, oh, Rama like Lakshmana more, they say Kantham Bharatavanditaha, the one who is very, very fond of Bharata and worshipped by Bharata. Now, both of these boys have been blessed by so many mantrams Vishwamitra has given them, and they have Divya Astras with them. all of these Divya Astras together are called Divya Yudha Patu. And they take these Divya Yudhas and Vishwamitra takes them to Mithila. When he takes them to Mithila, what happens over there? He breaks the bow of Shiva. Bhagneshu Karmukaha. This Bhagna Isha is a name of Shiva, and he breaks Shiva's Chapam. Chapam here is bow and not Chapal Pulsu. When he breaks the bow of Shiva, what immediately happens after that? Sita Kalyanam. Karau Sita Patim Patu. As soon as he becomes Sita Pati, what is the twist in the story? When they are about to leave back for Ayodhya, who comes? Parshurama comes. And what does Rama do? Parshurama Garva Samharam. Jamadagni Garvajit. He controls Jamadagni's Garvam. As soon as this is done, the Rama Raksha Stotram, because it is a Raksha Stotram, it only touches on auspicious and powerful aspects. It doesn't deal with ideas of his exile and all of this. It directly moves into Janasthanam, where 14,000 Rakshasas he kills single-handedly with Khara and Dushana there. Madhyam Patu Kharadvamsi. Immediately after this, what happens? Sita is abducted. Again, they will not mention this here because it is a Raksha Stotram. So we only want to invoke the auspicious bits. So Sita is kidnapped. Who does he meet after Sita is kidnapped and he is on his way to meet Sugriva? Who comes first? His Saturday, you can say his name loudly. Hanuman. Hanuman, then Sugriva, then Jambavan. That is the order. In the Rama Raksha Stotra, it is reversed. Why? Because the Stotram, in our Samskriti, we give respect to age, to Vayovriddham. So first they say Jambavadashrayaha, then they say Sugriveshaha, then they say Hanumat Swamihi. That is the krama, the order, the respect that is given to age. Right after this is done, you see that he now has come, the karyam for which he has come is to show that he is the greatest in this Vamsham of Raghu, Raghuttamaha. This Raghuttamaha rises, and as soon as Raghuttama rises, he decides he has come for Rakshasa Samharam. So he decides, takes on this Rakshak Kula Vinashakrita. What does he do? He builds the Setu to reach there. Januni Setu Kritpatu. And then, after he crosses the ocean, one entire kanda, not required. You don't have to mention all the Rakshasas. You say one thing, Dashakulantakaha, the one Dashakantantakaha or Dashamukhantakaha. He just kills Ravana. It's implied that along with his Sainyam, all of this is gone. And finally, the Rama Raksha Stotra leaves you not with the killing, but it leaves you with the abhayam that he gave Vibhishana. And it says, Padau Vibhishana Shridaha Paturamo Vapuhu. May Rama, that Rama, protect my entire body. Now you tell me, Ramayana Katha takes less than 30 seconds to read this segment. It took 5 minutes to explain it, but it takes 30 seconds to take Rama Katha from here. The journey is to take it from here to here and then here. And that is why Rama Raksha is not just a stotram, but it is a Rama Raksha mantram that we now invite you to chant with us.
Shiro me Raghava Patu Bhalam Dasharatatmajaha Kaushalyeyo Drishau Patu Vishwamitra Priya Shruti Granam Patu Makhatrata Mukha Saumitri Vatsalaha Jihvam Vidyanidhi Patu Kantam Bharata Vanditaha Skandau Divyayudha Patu Bhujau Bhagnesha Karmukaha Karau Sitapati Patu Hridayam Jamadagnyajita Madhyam Patu Kharadvamsi Nabhim Jambadashrayaha Sugrivesha Kati Patu Sakthini Hanumat Prabhu ಊರು ರಘುತಮ ಪಾತು ರಕ್ಷಕುಲ ವಿನಾಶಕೃತ ಊರು ರಘುತಮ ಪಾತು ರಕ್ಷಕುಲ ವಿನಾಶಕೃತ
As the Raksha leads us into different aspects of understanding what is so special about Rama and Rama's Katha. Why is this Katha so powerful? Why is it that somebody can complain and they get his Raksha? Somebody can think of him and say, Abba Rama, why did I have to come all the way to find Sita? And still they get Raksha. Because Rama as a name has something magical about it. That magic is so powerful that anywhere anybody who kept held on to that magic experienced something. It's just 3 aksharas. But somebody, a small little boy who was born to a mountain, he looked at his father and he said, I like this name Rama. I don't know what to do with my life. His father didn't say, go do engineering and then when you're 65, if you have time, you can chant this name. His father said, then take that name and make it the very purpose of your life. So the boy took this namam, Rama Namam, and he made it the entire focus of his life. And when he got into such a state where he didn't even realize that from every pore of his body, the name Rama was coming out, something phenomenal happened. At the same time that this boy, who was a giri, the boy is a mountain. The boy is a mountain chanting away Rama Namam. And at that point, it so happens that Rama comes in Vanavasam and he sees this boy and he says, who are you? So the boy says, my name is Bhadra and I have a special request from you. Will you sit on top of my head? Rama was a little hesitant. Koncham sandarbham samayam you should see and ask something. I'm in the middle of Vanavasam. I cannot come on top of your head and sit. He said, no, you have to come. He said, Aithe ippudu kadle. I will definitely come, but at a later point. Let me come and do what I have come for. So Rama carries on. The boy also carries on. And the entire story has come to a conclusion, but the boy doesn't know that. The boy is still doing Ramanama Japam. When the boy is doing Ramanama Japam so deeply, the Avatara Karyam has almost come to an end. Rama is releasing his body into Sarayu and he is ascending to Vaikuntha as Narayana. At that point, when he is looking at all the Jiva Kotis, he sees this Bhadra and he says, oh my God, Bhadra is still doing tapas. And me? Now I am on my way to Vaikuntha. I promised him that I will come Sashariram. I will come and I will bless him. So Rama, who is becoming Narayana with the Shankha Chakra and the Kodanda Hasta, comes and sits on top of Bhadra's head and says, henceforth, I will remain here in this kshetram of Bhadrachalam. And why I am telling you this story is because if you go to the temple of Bhadrachalam, the priests will show you one rock in the corner, an abandoned part of the temple, and they will ask you to put your ears next to it. And the conviction with which the priest says, put your ears and you will hear Rama Namam coming from that rock even to today, till today, that is the faith that is required in sadhana. Sadhana is not, cheste ostundi, if I do it for 48 days, will my daughter get married? That is not the bhavam with which you hold on to Rama Namam. You hold on to it like there is nothing else. And that bhavam is seen across time and space. We see in another part of Bharatavarsham, a community called the Ramanami community, who tattooed that Ramanamam from head to toe, as you can see in the image behind me, because for them, Rama is that expression of joy, and they don't even burn their bodies in that community because they say Ramanama has already purified this body, so what is the need of burning it? That love, that Rama is a Namam which is inside this body. It is covered by a blanket, by a chadar. That chadar has that Ramanamam so beautifully encased inside it, that if you see that Ramanamam inside, you will start to see that it is all, you don't need any printed clothes because Ramanama will come everywhere. That Ramanama is so powerful that if you become a dasa of that Ramanama, you don't need anything else in life.
Chadariya, Chadariya, Hare Chadariya, Hore Chadariya, Hare Chadariya, Hore Chadariya, Jini Re Jini नाम रस भीनी चदरिया जीनी रे जीनी 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 राम नाम रस भीनी चदरिया जीनी रे जीनी अष्टकमल का चरखा बनाया पांच तत्व की पूनी अष्टकमल का चरखा बनाया पांच तत्व की पूनी 9-10 मास बुनन को लागे 9-10 मास बुनन को लागे के मूर्ख मैली कीनी चदरिया जीनी रे जीनी के राम नाम रस भीनी चदरिया जीनी रे जीनी राम नाम राम नाम राम नाम राम नाम मने परग गमी राम नाम मने परग गमी राम नाम मने परग गमी राम नाम 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 मने वरगमी वीराजिल दुनैय त्यागराजुनिगे बंडुरीति कोಲು वियवैय राम बंडुरीति कोಲು वियवैय राम बंडुरीति कोಲು वियवैय राम राम नाम राम नाम राम नाम राम नाम अवन्नामामृतं परम दिव्यौषधं राम नामामृतं परम दिव्यौषधं राम नामामृतं परम दिव्यौषधं हरे राम 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 सीता राम 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 हरे राम 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 सीता राम 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 हरे राम सीता राम हरे राम रामனை பஜித்தால் நோய் வினை தீரும் வீண் சஞ்சல மகன்றிடுமே சீதா ராமனை பஜித்தால் நோய் வினை தீரும் வீண் சஞ்சல மகன்றிடுமே சீதா ரமனை கண்ணால் காண்போம் என்றே பிறந்த பயன் அடைவோம் சீதாராமனை கண்ணால் காண்போம் என்றே பிறந்த பயன் அடைவோம் ராமனை பஜித்தால் நோய் வினை தீரும் வீண் சஞ்சல மகன் ரிடுமே அவன் நாமாமிருதம் பரமதிவ்யோஷதம் రమణామృతం పరమదివ్యౌషధం రామనామామృతం 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 రామనామామృతం.
Take that Namamritam. Our Namamritam, Siviki Divyaushadham, it's that one healing thing that the ear needs to hear and make it your story. Call him Rama, call him Narayana, the Tattvam is remaining the same. And one Bhakta knew this very, very well, because this Bhakta's father refused to believe in any of this. So he said, let me do great tapas and let me secure for myself this Raksha, that wherever I am, nothing will harm me. This boy looked at his father and said, who is going to go through so much difficulty? I will take that Namam. That Namam will do whatever it has to. So here comes a moment of great challenge in the story. This father has done tapas for so long and has secured a boon that is very, very assuring for himself. I should not die inside, should not die outside, should not be with pranam, without pranam, should not be man, should not be animal. Who are we talking about? This is so much louder than when you had to say Hanuman. Anyway, now look at this moment. Hiranyakashipu has done so much tapas that he has secured himself all these powerful spaces in which nothing will harm him. But his son, he tries to push him down a cliff, nothing happens. He tries to put him into a fire and we have an entire festival after that. But the son is fine. He puts him into a cobra pit, nothing happens. Every possible way to harm him using the Panchamahabhutas, that father does. The son has not done any of the tapas, not 1 ounce of that tapas that the father has done to acquire this. But how is the son protected? This is Rama Raksha Rahasyam. If you look at the Panchamahabhutas, all the Panchamahabhutas have a special connection to Narayana. Bhumi Devi. Bhumi Devi's Pati is Purushottama. Narayana is Bhudevi Pati. If you are a Narayana Bhakta, wherever you are on Bhumi, Narayana will protect you. Number 1. What was Narayana's connection to water? Narayana reclines in the ocean. So wherever you are in water, you think of Narayana, nothing will happen to you. What about Agni? Yajno Yajnapatir Vishnuhu. The Lord of Yajna himself, he has come from Agni. So if Agni is around you and you are worried, think of Narayana. No Agni can harm you. All these 3 so far relate to Narayana in Paramapadam and Vaikuntham. But when it came to Vayu, what is Narayana's connection to Vayu? Even Akasha, when he took Vaman Avataram, he covered all the Akasha with one stride. So that aspect, that wherever you are or wherever you see Akasha, you will be protected if you think of him. What is his connection to Vayu? There, one Bhakta said, I'm looking at this Prahlada, but I'm thinking of how beautifully and how powerfully, whichever aspect I think of the Panchabhutas, it's Narayana. But when it comes to Vayu, I know you will protect me in Vayu because you picked up Vayu Sutta and you hugged him. So therefore, wherever I am, wherever there is Vayu, I will be protected. Vayu Sutudu Nelinatti Vayu Raksha. This beautiful composition of Annamacharya, we present some snippets to you from here, talking about how all the Panchamahabhutas are in his control. You stay with him, nothing will harm you. Prahlada is a living, breathing example of that bhava.
Adimulame maku angaraksha, Adimulame maku angaraksha, Sri Devude maku Jivaraksha, Adimulame maku angaraksha, Sri Devude maku angaraksha, Adimulame maku angaraksha, Bhumi Devi Padiyaina Purushottamude maku Bhumi pai edanunna Bhumi Raksha, భూమిదేవి పదియైన పురుషోత్తముడే మాకు భూమిపై ఎడనున్న భూమి రక్ష, మాకు జల రక్ష, మాకు అగ్ని రక్ష.
Now here, when they speak of Vayu Sutta, here he's saying you picked up Hanuman, and they're saying therefore give me Vayu Raksha. So is it Sri Rama Raksha or Anjaneya Swami Raksha? You ask Sri Rama for Raksha, Anjaneya Swami is the one who will come and protect you. That is the rahasyam that comes out here.
వాయుసుతో నేలినట్టి వనజనాభుడే, వాయుసుతో నేలినట్టి వనజనాభుడే మాకు వాయువందు కందకుండ వాయు రక్ష, వాయుసుతో నేలినట్టి వనజనాభుడే మాకు వాయువందు కందకుండ వాయు రక్ష, ఆకాశ రక్ష, ఆది మూలమే మాకు అంగరక్ష, శ్రీదేవుడే మాకు జీవరక్ష, మాకు అంగరక్ష, మాకు సర్వరక్ష.
And that is also the rahasyam, that Prahlada never asked for Raksha. If you read the Bhagavatam, never when he was in those traumatic situations did he ask for Raksha, but he was still protected. Why? Because in Bhumi Devi he saw Narayana, in Akasha he saw Narayana, in Agni he saw Narayana. Then Narayana is duty bound to protect you. When you see Antar Bahishta Tat Sarvam Vyapya Narayana Sthitaha, Upanishad Vakyam. Bhakta Charitras are not stories for entertainment alone. Bhakta Charitras are reminders of eternal truths. What is eternal is always lived by somebody. And when you don't look at anything with a threat, then if something is a threat towards you, it will not affect you. Same idea with Prahlada's story, same idea with Rudram. The Shiva Puranam carries this so beautifully, in which it says that if a bhakta who is lost, Shiva himself says, if a bhakta is lost in saying the words Mahadeva, 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 and he's not even looking where he's about to walk, and his next step he's about to fall into a cliff, then I will run behind him like a cow runs behind a calf. That is the beautiful upamanam he gives to say, that is the vatsalyam I have towards my children. You are lost in me, then don't worry about ever being lost. That is the idea of his Raksha. And that leads us to a very, very interesting story, a contemporary story quite different from the ones that we have been talking about so far, which happened in this city a couple of years ago. This story is about an elderly gentleman, and this particular man had spent his lifetime writing Ramakoti in addition to everything else that he did for a living. And this is a habit, especially in this part of the country, that is so prevalent, to constantly write the name of Rama without any particular focus, or any particular agenda. And this man did that. He had children, his children grew up, they went abroad, his wife passed away. This happened in around 2016 and 17, it was very recent. And his wife passed away, so the man was left alone. And one fine day, the man in his apartment, he slipped down the stairs and he fractured his hip. So his neighbors had him admitted into a hospital. When he was admitted into a hospital, the neighbors, did all the procedures and they went away. They told the doctors, we'll come the next day. So after, some amount of medication and things, when he woke up, he was in extreme pain because all of his body was in pain. But he had to go to use the restroom. Now he was on the bed. It's late in the night. He called out saying, is anybody there? His throat was parched. He was not able to say anything at all. And nobody was responding anyway. So in that moment, he let go over there. And then he looked at himself. And he wrote about this himself. He said, I looked at myself and I thought, look at me now. Rama Koti, not one times, Koti times I have written for this. So that now, when I'm actually alone and there's not one person by my side, I had to let go in my own clothes and I don't know who is going to come and change me and when. Entra gati idi. What is this dikkulena paristhiti? He thought to himself. And in that state of pain, in that state of delirium, he went back to sleep. A few minutes or maybe half an hour or so later, 2 male nurses came and they woke him up and said, Tata, it looks like you've soiled your clothes. Can we please change you? He said, I can't get up. I'm in pain. He said, we are trained nurses. We'll help you. So they moved him to another bed. They cleaned the bed. They removed his soiled clothes, put on fresh clothes for him, and put him back onto the bed. And at that point, they said, Tata, we are right outside. If you need anything at all, please call us. So he said, okay. He dozed back into sleep. He woke up the next morning. He was feeling a little better. And he was not due for discharge, but he was at least able to speak. So when the doctor came on his rounds, he told the doctor that, look, last night this happened, it was very uncomfortable, but I just want to thank you for the kind of support you have, the kind of support staff you have, and I want to reward them. So the doctor said, sure, what would you like to do? He said, I just want to give a small token of my gratitude to those 2 male nurses who changed me. The doctor looked at him and he said, what are you saying? We don't have any male nurses in this hospital. There are only female nurses. At this point, he broke down and he said, I said all kinds of things to you. I spent my life writing Ramakoti with the hope that someday I'll be able to see you. Never with the hope that you will someday come and do something that even my children did not do for me, Rama. You removed my soiled clothes and cleaned me up. That is Rama Nama. That is the Prabhavam. And that is the idea that whatever you are experiencing in life, He will hold you through it. It is not this romantic idea that if I have Ramanama on my lips, boulders will come to me and they'll just be smashed into pieces. It is the idea that I am experiencing them because of my karmas. But He will hold an umbrella for me when it is raining outside and say, you have to go through karma, but I will be by your side. At that time, rather than finding out which graham is causing what confusion, just focus on Rama's anugraham and remember, Janaki Nath Sahaya Kare Tab, Kauna Bigada Nare, Narakaro, Naratero. And then when you get into that state, you will say, what else do we need? Takkuvemi manaku Ramundokkadundu varaku.
सूरज मंगल सोम भृगु सुत बुध और गुरु वरदायक तेरो सूरज मंगल सोम भृगु सुत बुध और गुरु वरदायक तेरो राहु केतु की राहु केतु की नाही गम्यता राहु केतु की नाही गम्यता संग शनीश्वर होत हुचेरो संग शनीश्वर होत हुचेरो जानकी नाथ सहाय करे जब कौन बिगाड़ करे नर तेरो जानकी नाथ सहाय करे जब कौन बिगाड़ करे नर तेरो जानकी नाथ सहाय मन पूरा मुंडो कडुंडु वरकु तकुवेमि मन पूरा मुंडो कडुंडु वरकु तकुवेमि मन पूरा मुंडो कडुंडु वरकु दशग्रीवुमुनु दण्डिंचिन आदशरथ रामुनि दयमन कुंडग तक्कुवेमि मन पूरा मुंडो कडुंडु वरकु रामदासुनिल रक्षिंचेदननी రామదాసునిల రక్షించెదనని ప్రేమతో పలికిన ప్రభు విడనుండగా తక్కువేమి మనకు రాముడొకడుండు వరకు తక్కువేమి మనకు రాముడొకడుండు వరకు రాముడొకడుండు వరకు రాముడొకడుండు వరకు.
In this story, it's so beautiful that the doctor said there are no male nurses, but still he said plural. There are 2 nurses who came. Rama Pato Salakshmanaha. Whenever Rama has to protect somebody, he will come with Lakshmana Swami. That is why Lakshmana Swami knows when Vishwamitra calls him, I also have to go because this is a Raksha avataram. For this avataram, not just till he kills Ravana, but for eternity, I will be by his side protecting every bhakta. That is why if you read the Rama Raksha Stotram, 4 shlokas saying Rama with Lakshmana protect me. Because together, they show you what the power of Bhakti and Shakti is. Bhakti is Lakshmana Swami, Shakti is Ramachandra. This aspect appeals to some, but Ramacharitram is not Ramacharitram alone. It is also Krishna Charitram. So for some bhaktas, it is Krishna. And there is one particular bhakta who is writing so deeply about Krishna Charitras one day that he finds himself in an absolute state of joy because he's writing about Krishna Leelas. I'm not going to share any Krishna Leelas, don't worry. I know that I have 5 minutes left because Krishna, when he comes, he will not take 5 minutes. So this bhakta is writing about Krishna Leelas. And in that state, when he's writing one particular shlokam, he sees and he feels that something is coming out of that shlokam. So he closes his eyes. When he closes his eyes, the color green hits him because whatever is coming out of that shlokam is massively green like an emerald. Marakata Mani Sannibhadeha. And he thinks, what is this Marakata Mani doing over here? But this Mani did not come alone. It came along with another Mani. That Mani is Sri Mani, the goddess of all Sampada, came along with this Mani. And he was looking, his eyes were closed and he wanted to see, has my Krishna come? The Krishna for whom I have been waiting so long. Has he come to see me? And as he opened his eyes, he saw something so beautiful. But let's see what he saw.
ಮಾಮವ ಮರಗದ ಮಣಿ ನಿಬದೇಗ 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 ಶ್ರೀಮಣಿ ಲೋಲ ಶ್ರಿತ ಜನಪಾಲ ಮಾಮವ ಮರಗದ ಮಣಿ ನಿಬದೇಗ ಶ್ರೀಮಣಿ ಲೋಲ ಶ್ರಿತ ಜನಪಾಲ ಭೀಮ ಪರಾಕ್ರಮ.
He looked, he opened his eyes and he said, Rama has come. I was waiting for Krishna. Now Rama is standing with his kodandam and he said, "Em cheyamantavu nannu ippudu?" So this bhakta said, first of all, please put that bow down, put that shara and that chapam down, do one thing. Now Devud Gadiki, just go to my Devud Gadi, over there I have a beautiful vigraha of Krishna with the Murali. Go and bring that Murali and come back. I wanted to see you as Krishna, you come as Krishna. Em chestadu papam, bhakta anugraha vigraha. Bhaktas can say all this to him. They have the unique pleasure and the privilege of doing this, and he had to listen. So poor Rama put down that kodandam, went into this bhakta's puja room, picked up his flute, came back, and he said, is this nice? And then this bhakta thought, the dhyanam that I have been doing in my heart is so beautiful now because it is giving form. That dhyanam is emerging in front of me. Sundarate dhyana, look at the swarupam that has emerged now.
Gala tulasi har गला तुलसी हार कासे पीतांबर गला तुलसी हार काशे पीतांबर गळा तुळसी हार काशे पीतांबर आवडे निरंतर आवडे निरंतर आवडे निरंतर तेची रूप सुंदर ते ध्यान उभे विटेवरी सुंदर ते ध्यान उभे विटेवरी करकटावरी ठेवोनिया सुंदर ते ध्यान उभे विटेवरी करकटावरी ठेवोनिया सुंदर ते ध्यान विठ्ठल 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 विठ्ठल.
Take that Vithala Nama if you want. Take that Nama as ghee and add it to something. What? To the payasam of Rama Namam. Take Krishna as sugar. Take this Vithala Nama as ghee. Mix it all together. Put it onto your tongue and experience that bliss. That is what this story communicates.
ವಿಠಲ ನಾಮ ತುಪ್ಪವ ಕಲಸಿ ಬಾಯ ಚಪ್ಪರಿಸಿರೋ ವಿಠಲ ನಾಮ ತುಪ್ಪವ ಕಲಸಿ ಬಾಯ ಚಪ್ಪರಿಸಿರೋ ಬಾಯ ಚಪ್ಪರಿಸಿರೋ ರಾಮನಾಮ ಪಾಯಸಕ್ಕೆ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ನಾಮ ಸಕ್ಕರೆ ರಾಮನಾಮ ಪಾಯಸಕ್ಕೆ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ನಾಮ ಸಕ್ಕರೆ ವಿಠಲ ನಾಮ ತುಪ್ಪವ ಕಲಸಿ ಬಾಯ ಚಪ್ಪರಿಸಿರೋ ವಿಠಲ ನಾಮ ತುಪ್ಪವ ಕಲಸಿ ಬಾಯ ಚಪ್ಪರಿಸಿರೋ ಬಾಯ ಚಪ್ಪರಿಸಿರೋ ವಿಠಲ 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 ಶ್ರೀರಾಮ ವಿಠಲ ಶ್ರೀರಾಮ ವಿಠಲ ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣ ವಿಠಲ ಭೂಮಿನಾಥ ವಿಠಲ ಸಾರ್ವಭೌಮ ವಿಠಲ ವಿಠಲ ಆನಂದ ರೂಪ ವಿಠಲ ಆನಂದ ರೂಪ ವಿಠಲ ಆನಂದ ರೂಪ ವಿಠಲ ಪರಾತ್ಪರ ವಿಠಲ ಪರಾತ್ಪರ ವಿಠಲ ರಕ್ಷಾಕರ ವಿಠಲ ರಕ್ಷಾಕರ ವಿಠಲ 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 ವಿಠಲ.
Rama